The Pentagon is investigating how another F-18 fighter jet ended up in the bottom of the Red Sea. The pilots were able to eject and were not seriously hurt, but this is the second $70 million plane lost in 2 weeks. For more on this, I want to bring in Matthew Whiz Buckley. He's a decorated Navy Top Gun graduate and an FA-18 fighter pilot. He's also the founder of the No Fallen Heroes Foundation. Thanks so much for joining us, sir.
Good morning, Vlad. Thanks for having me.
So I'm really excited to talk with you about this because you have flown the FA-18. And what I was surprised about is hearing that a pilot missed the wire as he was coming in for an approach to the aircraft carrier, missed that wire. I had always thought that you were all trained to increase the thrust and go around for another pass. So my first thought was, and again, we don't have any confirmation from the Pentagon, was there must have been an aircraft malfunction, because isn't that the way it's normally supposed to go?
Absolutely, Vlad. As soon as you touch down aboard the aircraft carrier, as soon as you feel the main landing gear touch, you go to full power in case you did miss the wire. So there's a couple of potential issues, and as you alluded to, we'll find out from the Pentagon and the official mishap report. But there's a tail hook on the back of the F-18 that's rated for a certain amount of traps. We call them traps or arrestments aboard the boat. That hook point could fail. The arresting gear, that big, thick cable, it's called a cross-deck pendant, could snap. So there's a couple potential mechanical issues, and then there's the possibility of human error. So the arresting gear that catches the F-18 Hornet has to be set for the right aircraft, for the F-18. If it's set for a different aircraft, there's different tension in that cable, and the cable could actually snap. So we'll wait for the formal mishap report. So there's several potential mechanical issues, and then also some potential human error, but we'll find out with the official report.
We actually have an image that we want to show our viewers of an FA-18F aboard the USS Harry Truman back in 2019. One of the things that this is a state-of-the-art fighter aircraft, but one of the things that I had read sir, earlier in its time in service, the instability of the aircraft meant that it wasn't like traditional fighter jets, going back to the earlier incarnations, the F-14s and the F-4s, in that it was a fly-by-wire, and that most of the control surfaces are controlled by the computer, and not necessarily hydraulic fluid, as had been common in the past. But it doesn't seem to have affected the service of the aircraft. But can you just explain just how it flies versus the earlier versions of Navy aircraft that were used, perhaps even during your time?
Great question, Vlad. So in the F-18 Hornet, you're actually a voting member, we call it. When I move the stick to the left, the flight control computers say, all right, this is what Whiz wants to do. Here's how we're going to optimize what he wants to do. And we're going to move all sorts of different surfaces to make that happen. So it's called fly-by-wire. Some of the older jets you allude to, I mean, geez, back in the day, it was a cable type of thing, or direct to the hydraulic system. So nowadays, with flight control computers, you're a voting member because the computers can figure out, hey, I can move a bunch of different surfaces to really make this maneuver great. The F-18 landing aboard the boat, Vlad, was a dream compared to the F-14 Tomcat or the F-4 or some of those other aircraft. I would land aboard the ship, with about 3 fingers on the stick. It was very, very sensitive. And as you can see in some of the landing videos you're showing, all of those control surfaces are just moving a little bit as I move that stick very gently. It's not any sort of violent move. You're just barely touching that stick to get the jet on board the boat. Some of our newest fighters have auto land capabilities, Vlad. You can push a button, the automatic throttles are engaged, and the automatic landing system is engaged as well. But I'm going to date myself. I flew the what we call the legacy F-18, and I was bringing it aboard the boat with me. We always joke that if I'm going to be a flaming ball of wreckage on the flight deck, I'm going to cause it, not some nerd at Microsoft. So a lot of the newer fighter jets have some pretty up-to-speed landing systems. But and matter of fact, some of the modern fighters landing aboard the boat, it's almost an emergency if you have to manually fly it to land. So I call myself an old guy because I had to land the F-18 aboard the boat.
Yeah, I had the honor of flying in the back seat of an F-18 with the Blue Angels a couple of years ago, and it was incredible to watch just how the pilot, and he explained some of the things that you just described, which is that even if you wanted to do something that the aircraft wasn't capable of doing, the computers wouldn't actually let you do it. If you tried to push the stick a certain way, that it might not let you do it. And perhaps wasn't the same when you flew the earlier versions of the F-18.
Vlad, it's funny you bring that up. The control procedure, or the procedures if you depart the aircraft, meaning it goes into a spin or out of control, is literally feet off the rudders, release the controls, and make sure the speed brake is in. Meaning, if you departed the jet, let go of everything, and the jet's going to figure out how to get out of it. It'll take over. Quick question, Vlad. When you flew with the Blues, did you pass out, or were you a G monster?
Let me tell you, sir, they tried to make me pass out. There was one as we were coming in for a landing. I think he was annoyed that I hadn't passed out, so he put me in like an 8G turn, and we had a GoPro obviously fixed on my face, and I had a split second where you see my tongue like loll out of my mouth, but I came right back too. Didn't throw up though.
That's awesome. Good for you. You probably experienced what we call gray out. As you're pulling those G's, the vision starts to go a little bit. You can get a little gray. So good on you for doing that. That's awesome. Not too many people get to do that.
So let me ask you a final question, sir. How do you think this will affect morale? Losing two trips on two aircraft on a boat during one sort of tour at sea, and what does this potentially mean for the boat captain?
Well, Vlad, this is actually the third F-18 we've lost off Truman. Remember back in December, we had a friendly fire incident. The USS Gettysburg, an Aegis-class cruiser assigned to Carrier Strike Group 8, accidentally shot down an F-18F, a two-seater, and thank God both those aircrew lived. They ejected successfully. A week and a half ago, F-18 kind of rolled out of the hangar bay because they were avoiding enemy fire. I can't remember the last time as a Navy guy, I can't remember the last time a carrier had to maneuver to avoid enemy fire. I mean, this is almost like the Battle of Midway or something like that. And then this landing mishap a couple days ago. A long answer, short question. How's this impact morale? These folks in the Truman and the Carrier Strike Group have been doing 24/7 combat operations against the Houthis for 6-7 months now. They're in a grind right now. Thank God the president announced the other day that the Houthis apparently called uncle, and can we all be friends for a little bit? Truman needs to get home. They've done their job. They're on the tip of the spear, but 24/7 combat operations, as you know, carrier aviation is dangerous in peacetime, let alone sustained combat operations. So God bless the sailors, the Marines, and the aircrew out on the tip of the spear doing the good work.
That's an excellent point that you make there, Whiz, because as you state, even during normal peacetime operations, there are mishaps that happen, and this is clearly a time of war, and they've been out at sea carrying out that mission for quite some time. Matthew Whiz Buckley, thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you very much for your insight. Appreciate you.